What if I told you that the same thing most people think is destroying their financial future could actually be the secret to building massive wealth? I'm talking about debt. Yeah, you heard that right. While your broke friends are scared of any kind of debt, the wealthy are using it like a tool to multiply their money. But here's the catch. There's good debt and bad debt. And if you don't know the difference, you're going to stay broke forever. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how rich people use debt to get richer and how you can do the same thing starting today. Let's dive in. The debt myth. All right, let's start by busting the biggest myth about debt. We've all been told since we were kids, debt is bad, stay away from credit cards, never borrow money. And look, I get it. Your parents probably said this, your teachers said this, and honestly, for a lot of people, it's good advice. But here's what they didn't tell you. The wealthy, they love debt. Billionaires, millionaires, successful business owners, they're all swimming in debt. But it's a different kind of debt. See, there are two types of debt in this world, bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is anything that takes money out of your pocket every single month. Think about it. Credit card debt from buying clothes you didn't need, a car loan for a luxury vehicle that loses value the second you drive it off the lot, or financing a vacation on a credit card at 24% interest. That's bad debt. It makes you poorer. Good debt, on the other hand, is debt that puts money into your pocket. It's debt used to buy assets that generate income or appreciate in value. Real estate investments, business loans that help you scale, even student loans if they lead to a high-paying career. This is the debt that builds wealth. The difference between rich and poor isn't that rich people avoid debt, it's that they use debt strategically. Okay, so now that you understand there's a difference, let me break down exactly how good debt creates wealth. It all comes down to one powerful concept: leverage. Leverage means using borrowed money to amplify your returns. Let me give you a real-world example that'll blow your mind. Example 1, real estate. Let's say you have $50,000 saved up. You could use that to buy a $50,000 property in cash, right? But here's what smart investors do instead. They use that $50,000 as a down payment on a $250,000 property. They borrow the other $200,000 from the bank. Now, if that property appreciates by just 5% in 1 year, it's worth $262,500. That's a $12,500 gain. But here's the magic. You only put in $50,000 of your own money. That means you made a 25% return on your investment, not just 5%. The bank's money did most of the heavy lifting. Plus, if you rent out that property, your tenants are literally paying off your mortgage for you. You're building equity with other people's money. That's leverage. Example 2, business debt. Or think about business loans. Let's say you take out a $100,000 loan to open a coffee shop. That loan costs you maybe $1,000 a month in payments. But if that coffee shop generates $5,000 in profit every month, you're netting $4,000 after the loan payment. The debt allowed you to create an income-producing asset you couldn't have afforded otherwise. See the pattern? Good debt helps you acquire assets that either appreciate in value, generate income, or both. The key is that the asset you buy with the debt makes you more money than the debt costs you. That's the wealth building formula right there. The rules of using debt wisely. Now, before you run out and start borrowing money for everything, hold up. Using debt to build wealth isn't a free-for-all. There are specific rules you need to follow, or you'll end up in financial disaster. Let me give you the 5 golden rules. Rule 1, only borrow for assets, never for liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. A rental property is an asset. A new TV is a liability. Simple as that. If it doesn't generate income or appreciate significantly, don't go into debt for it. Rule 2, make sure the numbers make sense. Before taking on any debt, run the math. If you're buying rental property, your rental income needs to cover the mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and still leave you with positive cash flow. If it doesn't, it's not a good deal. Don't fool yourself. For a business, your projected revenue needs to exceed your loan payments by a comfortable margin. Build in a safety cushion because things will go wrong. Rule 3, understand interest rates. Not all debt is created equal. A mortgage at 6% interest is very different from credit card debt at 22% interest. The lower the interest rate, the better. This is why mortgages and business loans are often good debt. The rates are relatively low. Always shop around for the best rates and understand the total cost of borrowing. Rule 4, have a clear exit strategy. Before you take on debt, know how you're going to pay it back. With real estate, your exit might be refinancing later, selling the property, or having rental income cover it. With business debt, it's your profit. Never borrow hoping things will work out somehow. That's gambling, not investing. Rule 5. Don't overextend yourself. Just because you can borrow doesn't mean you should. Keep your debt to income ratio healthy. A general rule, your total monthly debt payments shouldn't exceed 36% of your gross monthly income. This gives you breathing room if something goes wrong, and trust me, something always goes wrong eventually. Follow these 5 rules religiously, and debt becomes your best friend. Ignore them, and debt will destroy you. Practical strategies to get started. All right, so you're probably wondering, this sounds great, but how do I actually start using debt to build wealth? Let me give you 3 practical strategies you can implement right now, no matter where you're at financially. Strategy 1, house hacking. This is the easiest entry point for most people. Instead of buying a regular home, buy a duplex, triplex, or a house with extra bedrooms. Live in one unit or bedroom and rent out the others. Your tenants' rent payments cover most or all of your mortgage. You're living almost for free while building equity in a property using other people's money. This is how thousands of people have launched their real estate investing careers with minimal risk. You can get started with as little as 3.5% down on an FHA loan if it's your primary residence. That's around $7,000 on a $200,000 property, way more achievable than most people think. Strategy 2, the BRRRR Method. This stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Here's how it works. You buy a distressed property below market value using a loan. You fix it up, which increases its value. You rent it out to create cash flow. Then you refinance based on the new higher value, pulling your initial investment back out. Now you use that money to do it again. This is advanced, but it's how real estate investors scale quickly. You're recycling the same money over and over, using the bank's money to build a portfolio. Invest in yourself first. Sometimes the best use of debt is investing in skills that increase your earning power. A business loan to get certified in a high-income skill, a strategic student loan for a degree that leads to a 6-figure career, or even a loan to start a side business. But be smart about it. Don't take out $100,000 for a degree that leads to a $35,000 job. Do the math. Make sure your future income will justify the debt. Community colleges, trade schools, and online certifications can often give you better ROI than expensive universities. The bottom line, start small, get educated, and don't be afraid to use leverage when the opportunity is right. Every wealthy person you admire used other people's money at some point to grow their wealth. Now it's your turn. Warning signs and final thoughts. Before we wrap up, I need to give you some real talk. Debt is a tool, and like any tool, it can build something amazing or it can hurt you if you use it wrong. Here are the warning signs that you're using debt the wrong way. You're losing sleep over your debt payments. You're borrowing to pay off other debt. You can't clearly explain how the debt will make you money. You're hoping for a miracle instead of having a solid plan. Your debt payments are eating up more than half your income. If any of these apply to you, stop. Get your financial house in order first. Pay down bad debt, build an emergency fund, and educate yourself before taking on more. But if you're ready, if you understand the difference between good debt and bad debt, and if you're willing to be strategic and disciplined, then debt can be the rocket fuel for your wealth building journey. Remember, poor people avoid all debt. Middle-class people have bad debt. Wealthy people use good debt strategically to build empires. The question is, which category do you want to be in? Start learning, start planning, and start using debt the right way. Your future wealthy self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more wealth building content, and drop a comment below telling me what's one way you're going to use good debt to build wealth this year. I read every single comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go out there and build that wealth.